I've been interested for some time in doing a chip carving project, and I've selected this small trinket casket, which is just covered in chip carving. I'll open up the lid here so that you can see some of the internal joinery and etc. hardware. Pick the lid, choose the lid, and then pick the rotate tool and get a red color so I'm on the right axis, right on the fulcrum of the hinge, and you can see how it looks inside. It's got a key lock in the front, and some extra plates of wood there to handle the hardware. Now, I found this chip box, or not chip box, but a trinket casket in a book by Paul Hasluck, Manual of Traditional Wood Carving, that was published in about in the 1930s. And I had to bring the scan in 3 times into SketchUp because there were three different scales. One for the front view, one for the top view, and another view as well. So 3 separate images had to be brought in and made into full size. I'll show just a few steps of how I made the shapes. I needed these shapes to make templates that would stick onto the mahogany wood that I'm using for this box, and then use those shapes to actually do the chip carving. Position the knives. I used knives only for this process in the shop. I've turned on X-ray so that we can see the image in the background. I just checked there to make sure I had it as bright as I could see the background. And I'm tracing over that shape with the line and arc tools. Here's the corner design. There aren't many. There's a lot of replication of designs in a box like this, and there's also a lot of symmetry involved. So it looks like there's a lot more work than really needs to be done, because you can do modeling on just a few things and replicate them and rotate them and flip them, etc., to achieve the full design. So I've made this little corner design a group. The only other design necessary on this little ledger plate is this oval shape. Let me do that again. I'm going to make an arc here with 3/16 inch bulge, and then repeat that arc on this side, 3/16 bulge. And then there's a square in the middle that is shown here. 3/16, I think that's about 3/16 size. I can delete that diagonal line in the middle there and make that a group. So those are the 2 pieces I need to complete the picture on this little ledger plate. I'll make a copy of the corner and rotate it to fit in this next position. Raise that up. and nudge it around a little bit to position it like you want. And now, because of symmetry, I can select all three of these groups and copy them down. I'll flip this group selection on the red axis and then bring it up and connect it here. So that's got half the design. The other half in the bottom section of the ledger plate is just the same thing. So I can copy this and bring it straight down on the blue axis. Try that again. And then snap it up into position. And the ledger plate is filled with the carvings. Now, to make this into the real component for the 3D model for the SketchUp model, I want to turn that into a real ledger plate with 1/4 inch thickness. So right now this is just a face with the grouped carvings embedded in the face. I'll just copy that face and move that copy back 1/4 of an inch for the thickness of the ledger plate on the green axis. 1/4. I couldn't use push-pull in this case because it moved all the carvings, and I didn't want those shifted. I want them on the face, on the top face of the ledger plate. Okay, I have to connect the corners here to complete the plate. Then reverse color. There it is. Now, this I'm going to explode a couple of these groups and actually try to emulate the chip carving in SketchUp. This is extra work and really not necessary. I can build this Trinket casket without having actual carvings in the SketchUp. But this was a challenge. I wanted to see if it would work. And I've actually used the move tool here to shift that connection back 1/16 inch deep so it emulates the actual chip carving. This one will be a little bit harder to do. I need to deselect everything. Come on. There we are. And take the move tool and pick that corner and drive it back on the, well, now that, I must not be connected properly. I'm not. So that line, I'm going to delete that line and make sure that the line is connected to the corner. There we are. Now it should go backwards on the green axis. And I'm missing an edge here, put that back. Yes, it worked. Yeah. Let me do the other side. I'm going deep, 1/16 inch deep. SketchUp kind of does the folding that's necessary. I need to bring up the face so that all of the square is coincident with the top face of the plate. So just need to bring in these 3 edges and then delete the face and get reverse these faces. So you can see this is somewhat tedious and really not necessary. And my process with SketchUp is normally just to do what I need to have done, the level of detail that it takes for me to work in the shop efficiently. And I certainly don't need this work in SketchUp to be able to do the carvings. Nevertheless, I chose to do the whole thing, and just for the fun of it, I guess. And this assembly view shows where I've actually done the chip carving in SketchUp. But it's certainly a lot of extra work that's unnecessary.